Hey, Carrie Kaufman here, and look where I am today. Isn't this incredible? This used to be full of glacier waters, but they dammed it a while back, so it's not as full. But this is what the glaciers have been forming for many, many years. So we actually started out on that side over there, way up high, and we couldn't figure out how to get down here. But we could see other people across, we couldn't figure out how they got there, so we ended up following the road until we eventually found a path, and a couple hours later, here we are. We just couldn't pass it up. We've seen far too many photos to not have experienced this for ourselves. So on that topic of achieving a goal, have you ever achieved a huge goal? Like something probably far more significant than this hike, but just something that you had set out to do and you actually accomplished it. And then how did you feel when you achieved it? I know if you're like me, how I felt when I achieved some of the biggest goals in my life was kind of like, oh, all right. You know, it's a little bit anticlimactic when you actually get there. So if you feel that way, then it probably means that you're ready for the next challenge, because the slowest periods of growth typically come after you've achieved something huge, because you kind of go into this little lull, like almost like a hangover from having achieved the previous goal, and you're a little bit worn out and kind of lacking energy and motivation to go on to the next thing. So here's 2 tips to help you overcome that goal hangover and continue your growth. The first tip is you might need to set a massive goal in another area of your life. So for example, if the last big goal that you achieved is for your business, perhaps your next big goal needs to have to do with your finances or your health or relationships or maybe travel. And the second tip is you might need to find a new source of motivation. So actually, ironically, just earlier this week, Scott and I were having a conversation about our love for travel. And I said, when do you think we're going to get to a point in our lives when we've kind of seen it all? Like we mostly checked all the boxes on our bucket list we want to check when it comes to travel, and we won't be as motivated. Travel would kind of lose its luster. And to be honest, I don't know if we'll ever find the end of our motivation to travel, because we really do love it. But Scott's answer I thought was brilliant. He was very, very quick to answer. He said, well, we'll go back to some places, but we'll take our kids, we'll take other people, we'll see it in a completely different light, because we're experiencing it through other people's eyes. And I thought that was a brilliant answer. So if you're at a point where you've achieved a lot, you've had a lot of success, you've achieved most of the big goals you ever set out for yourself, you've done them, and you're wondering what's next, maybe that motivation needs to come from something other than you. Maybe it needs to come from what you can give away, or come from the jobs you create, or from the people that you serve, or any other number of good things that you can do that go far, far beyond your life and your personal well-being and go towards your legacy and impacting other people. So that's your cure for your goal hangover, is get out there and do something a little bit different, set the next goal, and look for something beyond yourself. Have a great day.